You do,
Next.
my friend. Who is next?
Next one is number 3.
3
Hello.
on my list. Mr. Harvey. Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
All right. My question for you is, we know, and I certainly think we could take what we would call judicial notice where we judge it. I think we can all take common sense notice of the fact that in our profession, whether lawyers or paralegals, we have a tremendous mental health issue. We have huge issues with addiction and mental health that the Law Society has to address. As a bencher, what things would you do to address the mental health challenges, issues, and things arising therefrom that paralegals have to deal with?
So
And sorry,
first of all,
perhaps maybe I could be more specific. As somebody who does a lot of defense work at the tribunal for lawyers and paralegals suffering from these issues, it seems that the Law Society's approach to this is to investigate and discipline and suspend or to revoke, as opposed to necessarily helping. And I think we all potentially agree that we'd want some better outcome. But what specifically would you do if you were a bencher to move things in that direction?
So again, thank you for the question. I myself, I'm diagnosed with ADHD and bipolar, and I'm of course medicated for it and treated regularly. And so I have a personal appreciation for the challenges that come with having to struggle with mental health as part of working. I can tell you that one of the principal approaches that I would take when crafting policy is harm reduction. I would take into account that the primary agenda when dealing with whether it be adjudication, whether it would be dealing with how complaints are investigated, would be to take into account the person's mental health history, and very similar to the mental health courts in Toronto, would take into account whether or not the person is seeking treatment, and factor that into crafting a resolution that will get that person back to work. So I think that taking the model of the Toronto mental health courts, I believe, would be beneficial in approaching mental health challenges at the Law Society.
Okay, thank you. That was an excellent answer. And by the way, thank you for disclosing your own diagnosis, which certainly wasn't intended to be part of my question. So thank you for that.
That's okay. I just wanted people to know that there's no reason to feel stigma when you struggle with mental health issues. I feel that mental health issues, ADHD, bipolar, and other issues are stigmatized. And I want people to know that you can be a successful paralegal, a successful legal practitioner, and struggle with mental health issues. And you can still be someone who contributes a great deal to this profession. And that's why I've disclosed it.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more. Thank you for that. Next question, Edie.
Number 11.
Drafting residential leases. As a realtor, I can attest to you that paralegals can do far better work doing that. And if authorized, it could immediately reduce processing times at lender and tenant board, et cetera, and can have a palpable immediate impact on access to justice. And those are the things I would look at.
Shaun Harvey.
Stronger education, meaningful assessment, and effective discipline. That's the role of the Law Society. The lens in which we view the role of the paralegal is through protecting of the public. There is no conflict between paralegal interests and the public interest, just the same as there's no conflict of interest between the interests of lawyers, economic interests, and protecting of the public. At some point, we have to believe that the benchers are going to protect the public interest, and I have to have faith that we are. The short answer is we view the progress of paralegals through the lens of public interest. And as long as that lens of public interest always remains paramount, always is first, then progress can be made. So it's the lens of public interest that informs all of our decisions for progress. And if we keep that
Time.
forward,